Yes, so when you pick risk percentage mode, then what you're basically telling it is that it must calculate the lot size for you based on the level of risk you are willing to take per trade. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you were to set it at a risk percentage of 2%. So when you set it to risk, then the number that you change is here where it says risk, right? So you change this. If let's say you wanted to risk 2%, then you'd come here and put in 2. Then this means that every single trade will be calculating its stop loss based on a 2% loss mode. This means that if you are losing that trade, you're losing a maximum of 2% of your account. That then allows your account to be able to grow exponentially at proper risk levels that you're willing to withstand, right? So that is all automatic. This means that you don't need to calculate your own lot size and beat yourself up about it. You can just throw in a simple risk percentage mode. But remember, with the smaller the account size, the smaller the lot size, the smaller the profit, right? That's if you're using a risk percentage. And also, if you're going to use fixed percentage, then you would select here. You'd select here by the bar on the side. I mean the lots calculation mode. Select fixed lot, and then come to the fixed lot column, and then you change that, right? If let's say you wanted to trade this pair on 0.01, but remember, guys, don't over exert your accounts. That's why I give you certain parameters for saying that if your account is between 100 and 500, then the maximum lot size you should be using there is 0.03. You see, so there we are, 0.03. That's our fixed lot size for an account that is a maximum amount of $500, right? And then you come here and then you say hidden secret lots. Now you change your lot sizes at 3 different places, right? You change them first here at lots calculation mode, second here at hidden secret lots, and again here at hook lots. Those are the different trade types that we have, and based on the way they behave, they have different lot sizes as well as different take profits and their own different stop losses, right? So for the first type, then you want to come here and select a standard lot. Like for instance, the lots calculation mode is the basic standard trade type. And then the hidden secret is our secret type of trade. This is a very high probability trade, right? And we usually increase our lot size by about 50%, right, of the initial lot. So this means that if we entered by a fixed lot of 0.03 on the initial trade, then on a hidden secret trade, which is a high probability trade, we want to enter by about 0.1 more than 0.03. So this means that over here, we would be entering by about 0.05, right? Because remember, it would have been about 1.5. So like, yeah, 0.05. So that's why we enter it with a slightly larger lot size, right? So you must also take that into consideration when you set that lot size. And then our other lot size is our hook trade. Now this hook trade is you pick the lot size of that hook, right? Because it's a very short trade, but it's also a very high probability trade, but sometimes tends to take longer. So based on that, we know it's a medium probability trade basically. So you want to set your lot sizes the same as your standard lot. So that's why we've set here 0.03, right? That's if we're using, excuse me guys, your corona, hey. But anyway, you change here to fixed lot size and you change the lot size. That means it will use this fixed lot size, right? So you can alternate between fixed lot size and risk percentage calculation, right? That is all up to you, right? But if you have any questions with regards to that, I'm more than willing to help. Just DM me, let's schedule a meeting, let's do something, and let me help you set up. Because guys, remember, it's very crucial that you get the settings right, because you only set it once. And once you've set it, you must understand that it's going to be working online 24/7 without the need for you to change it, right? If you want to change it, you can, but I think let's allow it to work on consistency, right? So That's basically all you need to do, right, in terms of changing lot sizes. Right now, the one thing I want to address very specifically is trading indices. Now, guys, if you're going to trade indices like NASDAQ 100, US 30, and US 500, which is the S&P 500, then I would advise that you at least have an account size of above $250, right? Have an account size of $250 and only trade the minimum lot size for these specific pairs, right? So I'm just going to set up these three because they have their own settings, right? So let's go to NASDAQ 100. So let's make it a bit visible there. There we go. Then now we want to drag and drop. Right, there we are. You go to common, you allow, and then go to inputs. Then you want to load your settings, right? So we want to go to this folder where we save them, and then we find NASDAQ. There's NASDAQ. We click OK. Settings have now been changed, right? You can see that take profits and everything have been set according to how they work with this specific type of broker. Right now, we've said take profit at this specific point. You don't need to change any of that. The only time you would need to change this is if the pricing of your broker is slightly different from the brokers that I've given you. And if you're using the brokers that I've recommended, like for instance, if you're using IC Markets, contact me. If you're using Pepperstone, then use these settings that I've now given to you, right? The only time that you need to change settings is for IC Markets, right? It's for IC Markets. That's the only time that you would have. I mean, for IC Markets, you would have to change settings slightly a bit. For Pepperstone also, their settings differ. But they only differ in the sense that you'd need to just add an extra zero or remove an extra zero. That's it, right? But to be able to tell that, let me just show you how to be able to tell that. Like for instance, if we wanted to set our take profit at $50, right? $50 of a move of NASDAQ, right? What we'd want to do is, let me just close this. We want to come and calculate a move of $50. So this means that if, let's say, hypothetically speaking, NASDAQ was at 9,000. Let me find, 10,000. Let's find 10,000. There's NASDAQ at $10,000, right? They somewhere here. Okay, yeah, but let's just say we have NASDAQ at $10,000. If we wanted a $50 take profit, which is basically 50 pips, then we would have to come calculate 50 is going to be here. Can you see? So it's showing us that on this specific broker, our take profit should be 500 because it says 493. The number you need to take into consideration, if you look at where my cursor is, there's 38, there's 38//493/9949.9. Right, so if you were calculating a $50 move there, do you see that it would be denominated by that 500 that's in the middle? That 493 is supposed to be 500 because we're calculating $50, right? So it would be 500. So that 500 would be the take profit that you place here. So that means we'd come here, paste it on here, and then say load, and then go to downloads, NASDAQ. There we go. So instead of 5,000, you see the difference, what I told you, that the difference is basically an extra zero, adding a zero and removing a zero. We then come and say 500. We put in the 500 instead of what? Instead of the 5,000. On a different broker, that number would have been 5,000, right? Okay, then we click OK. We click OK, right? And once we click OK, you can see that a sell trade is immediately opened there on this specific account, right? Because this means that what? The conditions for a sell trade had been met. You can see our take profit is here, our stop loss is here. I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is the stop loss bigger than the take profit? Don't worry about that. The software works in such an intelligent way that it starts off at the maximum risk and reduces risk as the market moves, right? So at the end of this trade, you could find that the stop loss ends up being here and the market goes all the way down to go hit take profit. But that's part of our strategy. That's our hidden secret. That's the secret that we hide from all of you guys. The trading software will make you a lot of money. But now those are the little things that you need to pay attention to, right? So now we want to set up another pair. We want to set up US30. So then come here, zoom in, and then now we want to drag and drop, and then we load, and then we go to downloads, and then we select US30. Right, again, you need to remember that you need to calculate. We're looking for what? For just a 500 point or a 50 pip move, right? So what we're looking for here, because it's the US30, also denominated very differently, right? If we were looking for a $50 move in this case, a 500 pip move in this, a 500 point move in this case, we would be looking for something like, let's say from the start of there, 500 points would be here somewhere, right? This is equivalent to that what? To that 50 pips that we're calculating on NASDAQ, right? So then what you then do is, we want to then check, instead of 500, it's 5,000. Can you see that? So that's the number that we then put in where? On the trading software, on the take profit, right? But again, you don't need to change those numbers. Guys, if you need anything that has to do with take profits and stop losses, call me immediately, because you are not supposed to touch those numbers. You are not supposed to touch those numbers. We've optimized those numbers because we know that that's how the software operates optimally, right? So that's how you then set a pair like this one. But then again, remember, it's the US30, so this means that lot sizing could be very different. You wouldn't now be using the lot sizes the same way as the Forex pairs, but I did explain to you that you want to use the minimum lot size for that the broker allows for pairs like the NASDAQ and US30 and US 500, right? So to see that, you come here, and again, I will show you the minimum lot is 0.1, you can see. So it allows me to sell and buy. But if I come and say 0.01, it won't allow me. Do you understand? So this means that we pick 0.1 as our smallest lot size because our count is so small, we want to let it grow properly, right? Not too much, put it too much at risk, because remember, these indices are very volatile, all right? Then now, next would be the US 500. With the US 500, you do the same. You drag and drop. And then you click load. Right, downloads. US 500. There, it inputs the pairs. Now you can see that the US 500 is what? Let me close that and first show you. The US 500 is denominated differently. So if we're looking for a 50 pip move here, this means that it would be $50 in the actual number. So in order to get that, let's say if we started at this point and we're in a buy, to calculate $50, this means that our take profit would have been somewhere here around 50. You see, so it's 500. So on this point, we then come drag and drop, and you can see we go load, click that, US 500. There, this one is on 600, so we want to change it to 500, and there we have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and obviously the minimum lot size would be 0.1. There it is here, fixed lot. So we know that for NASDAQ and all other indices, you want to use fixed lot sizes because you want to use the minimum lot size that the broker uses. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I've covered everything. Let me just see in my email if there's anything I need to cover. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, all of this is running on a VPS server, so you do not need to be constantly setting up and adding settings and removing settings. Enjoy.